Hello. We're now going to look at one more additional little add-on to our modal verbs. And so mögen was one of your 6 modal verbs. And it's the one that meant that you like someone or something. So ich mag Pizza. Ich mag Deutsch. I like German. But just like in English, if I'm at a restaurant and I'm ordering something, I may choose to be a little bit more polite in how I'm asking for something. So I would like a cup of coffee as opposed to I want a cup of coffee. And German has this as well with the verb möchte. And möchte is basically a derivative of mögen, and it's used when you're ordering something in a restaurant, for instance. So if we look at some sample sentences, ich mag Schnitzel. I like schnitzel. Just across the board, it's a delicious food. I like it. Ich will Schnitzel essen. So my friends and I are planning where to go for dinner back when restaurants start opening up again. I say, ich will Schnitzel essen. I want to eat Schnitzel. Let's go somewhere where I can order Schnitzel. Ich möchte Schnitzel essen. I would like to eat Schnitzel. So here, let's say I'm looking at the menu in the restaurant and I'm ordering. Ich möchte Schnitzel essen. I would like to eat Schnitzel, as opposed to say, ich will Schnitzel, which just like in English can come across as a little bit less polite. So we still use gern instead of mögen when we're talking about activities, but if you across the board just love something, that's where we use mögen. So ich esse gern Schnitzel, I like to eat Schnitzel. That's a pretty generic, but let's say Schnitzel is your favorite food. That's when we use mögen. Ich mag Schnitzel, just always. Doesn't matter when, where, it's a food I love. Ich mag Schnitzel. So we would say ich esse gern Schnitzel, but we can say ich mag Schnitzel just across the board. And we're going to look into that a little bit more detail in our slides, looking at our modal verbs. And just to quickly reopen this up again because it's glitching a little bit. So möchte versus mögen. We already looked at how mögen is ich mag, du magst, sie es mag. Möchte is a little bit more straightforward. Ich möchte, so you notice möchte, it's derived from a modal, but it's not an actual modal, and that's why you're back to adding an e, just like you would with any normal ich conjugation of a verb. Ich möchte, du, again, straightforward, du möchtest. Ich möchte, du möchtest. Es, sie möchte, wir möchten, ihr möchtet, und sie möchten. Again, this is would like as opposed to want. So, or just liking something in and of itself. So when I'm ordering at a restaurant, so wir möchten gerne die Pizza und möchte einen Salat. And again, straightforward when you're using them in exercises, for instance, auf Seite 125 in your textbook. Frau Meier möchte nach Canada fahren. She would like to travel to Canada. Again, it's not something she wants to happen. It's something she would like to see happening. Hence the would like, möchte. Herr Meier möchte einen Porsche. Und Georg, so Herr Meier möchte einen Porsche. It might not be realistic, but he really would like to have a Porsche. Und Georg möchte ein neues Mountainbike. Hanna und Monika möchten ein Jahr in Amerika studieren. So, ich möchte, dass diese Quarantäne bald fertig ist. So, möchte is would like. Again, also if you're, for instance, asking for presents for something, that's where möchte is going to come into play, as opposed to ich will. You're hoping someone's going to give something to you. One other little thing about modals is that in German, you can omit the infinitive, so that secondary verb that goes to the end of the sentence, if it's an implied infinitive. And so, for example, ich muss nach Hause. I could add on, ich muss nach Hause gehen, ich muss nach Hause laufen, but ich muss nach Hause already implies that I need to go. I need to drive, run. Now in English, I can't just say this. I can't say I must homewards. I have to say I have to go home. But in German, I can just say I have to, but we could say in English I have to go. In German, you can drop the verb, but you can't drop the location itself. So, ich möchte einen Kaffee. I would like a coffee. I can assume you want to order that coffee or drink it or any of those other things. Oops. Back. Sorry. Seems my slides like to glitch up a little bit. So, ich möchte einen Kaffee trinken, haben, bestellen. I would like a coffee. So again, it's not super necessary to include these infinitives. It's not grammatically wrong to include them. So I can definitely say, ich möchte einen Kaffee trinken. I'd like to drink a cup of coffee. But if I just say I'd like a coffee, and that part we could say in English as well, it's just as grammatically correct. No problems with doing that. And so again, straightforward. In German, you can drop the infinitive if it's implied.